Most know was moved from yesterday at a noon start time to today at 2 o'clock, and it looks as though the section and JCC made the right call. It's beautiful. Field is in perfect condition, and as we start this game, Brian, they're announcing Franklinville now. I think as your CSP and you come in relatively highly favored, CSP is going to want to get off to a strong start. I want to try to get some runs on the board early and put a lot of pressure on Franklinville. If you're a CSP hitter, what you want to do is you want to just simply put the ball in play and make them play defense. So it should be a good game. CSP, you want to minimize errors. You do no unforced errors, and really looking forward to a good game.
Yeah, as the Franklinville team has taken their place in the visitors' dugout and are lining up on the first base line, the CSP team and their coaching staff are on the home side of the field, which here at JCC is on the third base side, and now we're starting to get player introductions. Got a great facility here as the CSP team gets introduced. This is kind of a big deal, obviously. Section 6 championships and the helm here. Most of the section played yesterday due to the weather in the southern tier on Friday. This game got washed out for yesterday because the field had just taken on that much water. And my backyard would prove that. I got my tractor stuck yesterday. So anyway, here we are, matinee on a Sunday afternoon, just like the Major League guys do it. And the CSP team is getting introduced, all of them coming down the third baseline as Andrew Nelson makes his way out there now. And now we're starting to get into the starters. Austin White makes his way out. Bryce Hinsdale.
Traditional lineup for CSP today, maybe, Brian, with one exception, and that's Dylan Michael is out of town. And so that Dylan Michael is being replaced by Tate Catney's in the lineup today in left field. But otherwise, it's you're going to see you're going to see Gabe Roth, the CSP ace, on the hill today. And that's not unexpected. That's what we would have thought. And his innings were managed throughout the week, at least on Thursday, and so that he's got a full complement of pitches today. But then you've got Micah Willink behind the plate. You've got Bryce Hinsdale at first. You've got Trent Burchanowski at second. You got Austin White at short, and you've got Curtis Olson at third base. That rounds out the infield, and then Tate Catney's in left, Blake Kopta in center, and Ian Dunwald in right field for CSP today.
We're going to take a second for the playing of the National Anthem here at JCC. All right.
Luckily, Brian, they didn't ask either one of us to sing that.
Man, I tell you, I thought I was going to be on the hot seat there right to get started here. Luckily, it was an a cappella performance, so and no singers. Instrumental.
Instrumental only.
Yes. So as we get ready to get the game started here, a couple of changes. One is the umpiring crew. I believe we go to a three-man crew here as we get to the sectional final games. So there'll be an umpire on first and third base, as well as a home plate umpire, of course. And I believe, as we thought the last game was, I believe all these games go 7 innings, no matter what. So I think we're going to be into a full complement of 7-inning games. But that's all subject to change.
Yeah, we thought that last game.
We thought that the last game, too.
We were proven wrong. So, but either way, figure on 7, and hopefully at the end of all that, CSP's got more runs than Franklinville, and we're living to see another day next Saturday. A little bit different for us today, Brian. No video today for those listening to us online. NFHS has the kind of the for lack of a better term, the state contract for sectional final games and beyond. So as far as video goes, and so today we're audio only. So we will try to be as descriptive as we can. And for those listening on the radio, we appreciate, or live stream, we appreciate you listening today. And we've had a lot of loyal viewers and listeners throughout the year. And based on the crowd today, Brian, really good turnout from from CSP. And as you might expect on a beautiful Sunday afternoon on Memorial Day weekend, it's a great time to take in some baseball, and particularly when this is a relatively big game in their season, the biggest game in their season to date. And so we'll see. But again, good crowd for really both teams. But CSP's got a really nice crowd out in the grandstands.
Yeah, and this is a treat for us, too. Like you said, we're high atop in the press box here at Dietrich Park, old minor league facility. And we're going to have our first batter here from Franklinville, who's going to be Bretton Bleacha. And he's going to make his way starting out with a left-handed hitter, which we have not seen a whole lot of this year, Kyle, from any of the teams we faced. So this is a little different for us right off the bat. We have not seen Franklinville at all this year. So Gabe Ross going to take the mound here, and we'll see what he's got for the leadoff batter.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, we know CSP's got a ton of lefties, but very few lefties that we've faced in the batter circle.
Gabe quickly up 0-1 to the batter, Bleacha. There's one high and outside. A little different vantage point for us here. Balls and strikes, we can tell left and right pretty good. Up and down's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
So that's the opposite for us normally.
Give you a picture of our vantage point. There's another strike by Gabe. Up 1 and 2 here, but to give you somewhat of a vantage point, we are right behind home plate, probably, 50-60 feet up, and really great viewing.
And strikeout by Gabe Roth. Got him looking on the low and inside pitch. Retires the first batter of the inning. First strikeout of the game for Gabe Roth, and that's going to bring up the number 2 batter, Bo Bilicki.
Real important for Gabe to get started off strong, find the strike zone, get in a rhythm with Micah. We know, based on what we've seen throughout the year, Brian, that Gabe will get stronger as the game goes on. And so a strong first inning would really sets the tone for the game. And he seems to have found his strike zone. He's up 0-1 here early.
And there's one on the inside corner. It bounces away for Micah. 1-1 now. Top of the first, one out here. Bo Bilicki up for the visiting Franklinville Panthers. And called strike. 1-2 now to the catcher for Franklinville. Bo Bilicki is the catcher. We don't have the grade or the grade levels here for the team. I don't find them yet anyway. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Gabe Roth retires the first 2 batters that he faces via strikeout, one looking, one swinging. And we're 2/3 of the way through the top of the first inning here, and that's going to bring Isaac Town to the plate. Isaac playing third base today for the Franklinville team.
Yeah, as you look at the hitting stats for the Franklinville team, Brian, nobody over 400, at least batting over 400. So, a little bit. This is a lineup that I think Gabe could take advantage of, and so far through the first 2 batters, he's doing that, and falls behind 2-0 here to Isaac Town, and third batter for Franklinville.
There's one on the inside corner, called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Isaac Town. Once again, top of the first 2 down here. Score 0-0. Franklinville versus CSP, Section 6, Class D final. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Yeah, and if I'm Gabe, I'm just going right straight back there. You've got this is now the third Franklinville batter that is quite a bit behind. So I would throw some another strike right there, and it is. That's 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks for Gabe Roth in the first inning, and couldn't have thought of a better way to start if you're CSP.
Coach Marino and the coaching staff have got to be just thrilled with the way the top of the first inning played out there. 3 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 2 looking, and that's going to bring us to the middle part of the first inning, and we'll be right back.
9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause.
So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer
as we stand in honor of all loved ones affected by this disease.
I'm Jordana Brewster.
I'm Candace Patton.
Joe Manganiello.
I'm Matt Damon, and cancer has in some way touched all of us.
Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Stand up with us.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided by Sherman Country General Store at 177 West Main Street in Sherman. Gasoline, groceries, and more. Phone 716-761-6181. Go Wolfpack from Sherman Country General Store.
Hey, and welcome back here to JCC and Dietrich Park here on an absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon as the CSP Wolfpack are taking on the Franklinville Panthers. And CSP goes 1-2-3 in the first inning, Kyle. Now we're going to get our first look at the pitcher for Franklinville today. Blake Frank has been doing the majority of the pitching for Franklinville throughout the course of the year. Blake Frank is a three-sport athlete. We've heard mentioned his name all the time, football, basketball, baseball. So I have not personally seen him on the pitching mound. So we're getting our first look at him here. He's kind of a tall drink of water, and we'll see what he's got.
Yeah, just as you pointed out, Brian, just an overall good athlete. He's clearly their ace of their staff. We could also see Matt Spittler. He's their, it's really those two that have pitched the most innings for Franklinville throughout the year. But Frank is clearly their ace.
Called strike on the outside corner. Austin White takes one. Leadoff hitter Austin White. Traditional spot leading off the CSP Wolfpack here. Left-handed hitting Austin White. Right-handed pitching Blake Frank. And heats one back up the middle. Frank comes up with it. Throw over to first base, and that's going to retire Austin as he grounds out to the pitcher. So there's some of the athleticism that we talked about from Blake. He was kind of falling away to his left, and that ball was hit to his right, and he was quickly able to gather that up and get it over to first base for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, really nice play, and made what looked to be a pretty difficult play. He made it look pretty easy, to be honest with you. And that ball came right back at him. But so now Bryce Hinsdale up to bat, number 2 in the order for CSP, and he's down. He's down early here, 0-1.
And it lays off the inside pitch. Good job, Bryce. 1-1 now to Bryce. One down here, bottom of the first inning, 0-0. CSP versus Franklinville. There's one outside. 2 balls and a strike to Bryce.
Franklinville playing Bryce relatively straight away. Maybe the center fielder's playing a hair to the left. And so there's a fairly sizable gap for Bryce between center and right field if there's a way he could find it. And, Brian, this is, as you mentioned, a kind of a minor league ballpark, so there's a lot of space out there. And
call low and outside is for a strike. It's going to bring the count to full for Bryce Hinsdale.
So if you're able to find a gap, it's at least 2 bases.
And there's a rip right at the second baseman. Didn't have to move a muscle. Hit right to his glove. Hard hit ball by Bryce, but unfortunately right at the second baseman for Franklinville, Matt Spittler.
Never had to move, Brian. And Bryce made good contact there, hit the ball hard, and just happened to be right at the second baseman. So 2 outs here early for CSP with Gabe Roth at the plate.
Gabe takes one on the outside corner, strike 1. So, at least some positives. We are getting the bat on the ball, so that's a good thing. I just got to find the gaps. Swing and a miss, strike 2 for Gabe. We mentioned there's a fair amount of crowd here. Both teams well represented here. And it got him on the looking third strike. So both teams go down 1-2-3 in the first inning. And the score is going to be 0-0 after 1 here from JCC. We'll be right back.
Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Yeah. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Arlene's Dutch Kitchen Restaurant and Becky's Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. Arlene's offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Becky's Bakery features Amish-style baked goods. 716-234-4002 or Arlene's Dutch Kitchen on Facebook.
If you could do something today that could save someone's life, would you do it? If it didn't cost you a dime and only took a little time and could literally save a life, would you do it? Can you believe that only 3% of people say yes to this? How's that possible? That's the real percentage of people who give blood. It's something you can do whether you're a millionaire, middle class, or completely poor. There's no fee and it's easy to do. And you can literally save a life. Let's roll up our sleeves and make a difference. Give blood. We can do better than 3%. Learn more at redcrossblood.org.
Funding for coverage of CSP baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by First Place Auto Glass of Jamestown. Owner Glass Tech Robert Leonard from Panama installs automotive glass and works with all major insurance companies. We thank First Place Auto Glass, 716-450-0847, or on Facebook.
And welcome back to Dietrich Park here at JCC as the Franklinville Panthers getting ready to start off their second inning. Scores 0-0 after both teams go up 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. So this is going to be the number 4 batter for Franklinville, Noah Shank, playing center field for them today, coming to the plate.
We commented, Brian, that was about as good as a start as CSP coaches would have wanted. I got to believe that's identical for Franklinville. They went 1-2-3. 2 lineouts and a strikeout, and I got to think Franklinville is pretty happy with the way that bottom of the first went.
Noah Shank swinging a miss, strike 1 there. And an off-speed pitch on the outside that he chases. 0-2 now to the cleanup batter, Noah Shank. And another breaking ball on the outside, same spot, same result. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As Gabe Roth looks like he has come to play today from the mound.
Yeah, he's in complete control. And that, in fact, and if you're a Franklinville hitter, Brian, both the last 2 strikes for the Shank, those balls were out of the strike zone. Gabe doesn't need help, and so if you're a Franklinville hitter, you don't want to be chasing anything, because if you're chasing it, he's just going to continue to throw pitches out of the strike zone. So good start here. 4 batters, 4 strikeouts for Gabe, and that's bringing Blake Frank to the plate. I believe it's 1-1.
1-1 to Blake. First one called strike, second one high and away. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. And the batters to this point are struggling to keep up with Gabe's fastball. And then he's got that curveball he throws in there. So he seems to be firing on all cylinders at this point. And there's one hit down the left side. Fair ball right on the chalk. And that's going to make its way out to left field. Tate Catney's over to get it. They're going to try to advance the runner to second base, and he does. Stand-up double for Blake Frank.
That ball, Brian, was right on the chalk. In fact, you might have even seen a little bit of chalk dust come flying up. So that went right between third baseman, third base, and a good piece of hitting there by Frank. Ball was inside. He turned on it, and it puts a runner in scoring position for the first time for both teams today.
And there's a ball on the outside, low. 1 ball, no strikes now to Matt Spittler. Matt playing second base today for Franklinville. Runner in scoring position, 1 down here. Top of the second. And there's one hit foul. Out of play. down the right field line into the bleachers.
And if you're CSP here, you want to, you want it, balls hit on the ground, particularly to the left-hand side of the field. You want to watch the runner back and go to first. If that ball's hit to the right-hand side of the field, you'll give up that advance to third and get the out. And worst case scenario, if you're an infielder, knock the ball down, keep it to a single.
And there's a ball in the inside corner. Now it evens the count up at 2-2 to Spittler. Once again, Blake Frank on second base, one down here. Top of the second inning, 0-0 is the score. And there's one hit hard between first and second out to right field. Ian Dunewald over there. Ball's coming in toward the catcher position, and that was a good throw by Ian. Kept the runner to third base. So a single by Spittler advances the base runner, Blake Frank, over to third base. And Franklinville is in business here in the top half of the second inning.
Yeah, they got a little something going here, and probably a wise decision by the Franklinville coaching staff. Ian Dunewald came up firing from right field, and he made a nice throw into home plate. Micah was ready for it, so was able to hold that to a single. We'll see CSP playing normal depth, which early in the game you would expect.
Throw over to first base, safely back over there for Spittler. Once again, first and third, one down here, top of the second. Another throw over to first. Again, safely back. And a fake bunt by big number 13, Gannon Callahan. And there's a sacrifice bunt. Gabe quickly over to first base, retires the batter, looked the third base runner back to third, so nothing doing there other than we got the base runner from first over to second. But great play there by Gabe Roth. So the only harm is moving the runner from first to second there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, Brian. I have no issue with the bunt being laid down, but if you're going to lay the bunt down, I would think that guy from third is coming home.
Yeah.
And because otherwise it's a relatively fairly simple play. Gabe simply got it, looked the guy back to third, and threw it to first, knowing that Bryce has got to be prepared to come up firing. And, particularly it's maybe even more odd, Brian, considering you got the bottom of your order up, number 8 hitter now with second and third with 2 outs.
And there's one a little low, must be. Looked pretty good left and right. 2 balls, no strikes now to Colin Mooney. And that's actually 3 balls, and that's going to be a base on balls. So now we have the bases loaded for the number 9 hitter, playing the number 9 position, Colin Terwilliger.
So no place for Gabe to put him, so he's got to throw strikes here, Brian.
And the one low and outside, and where Gabe was looking pretty smooth and in control in the first inning, a little wild here in the second as we have base runners on. A couple hits and a walk, and bases are loaded. 2 down, though. And pretty tight strike zone today. Yeah, 2 balls and no strikes.
That ball's got to be low, Brian, is the only thing I can guess. And so Gabe and Micah need to find the rhythm here. No place to put this batter.
And 3-0 to Williger.
That was a strike, Brian. They called that a strike. So
a little delayed call there. 2-1. And 3-1. Micah reaches up to grab the high ball there. Kind of a big spot in this game right here all of a sudden, as this is the number 9 batter. 3-1 to him. Top of the order coming up next. And they walk him. And that's going to be the first run of the game for Franklinville as Blake Frank makes his way from home after the walk to the number 9 batter for Kurt Terwilliger. But the bases remain loaded for Franklinville.
Yeah, and that's this is the one thing is if you're a big, relatively big underdog, which I would say that Franklinville by all accounts is today, the book on how to beat a higher ranked team is to get up on them early. CSP's not been behind much at all this year, so this will be a good spot for CSP to see how they respond, and this is a spot where Gabe's got to rear back and see if he can get that rhythm back with Micah.
So this is back again, and once again, top of the order, Breton Bleacher, who struck out looking in the first inning. A little different situation now. Bases loaded, 2 down here. And Gabe flies one high and right outside to the left-handed hitter. 1-0. Strike called on the inside corner, 1-1. I can hear the umpire's signal. He's a little delayed on his hand signal, so we'll do the best we can here. And there's a big swing and a miss, strike 2.
If you're a CSP infielder, you simply want to knock the ball down and go, with bases loaded, you can go to any base here with a base hit.
And good spot for that one. 2-2 now. Tried to get him to chase the outside pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here, top of the second inning. 1-0, Franklinville over CSP. And a big swing and a miss, strike 3, strikeout. So he gets out of the jam. But not before Franklinville puts one across in the top half of the second inning, and that's going to make the score Franklinville 1, CSP 0, as we go to the middle part of the second. We'll be right back.
9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Arlene's Dutch Kitchen Restaurant and Becky's Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. Arlene's offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Becky's Bakery features Amish-style baked goods. 716-234-4002 or Arlene's Dutch Kitchen on Facebook.
If you could do something today that could save someone's life, would you do it? If it didn't cost you a dime and only took a little time and could literally save a life, would you do it? Can you believe that only 3% of people say yes to this? How's that possible? That's the real percentage of people who give blood. It's something you can do whether you're a millionaire, middle class, or completely poor. There's no fee and it's easy to do. And you can literally save a life. Let's roll up our sleeves and make a difference. Give blood. We can do better than 3%. Learn more at redcrossblood.org.
Funding for coverage of CSP baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by First Place Auto Glass of Jamestown. Owner Glass Tech Robert Leonard from Panama installs automotive glass and works with all major insurance companies. We thank First Place Auto Glass, 716-450-0847, or on Facebook.
And welcome back here to Dietrich Park. Bottom half of the second inning now with CSP behind by 1. Franklinville 1, CSP 0 as we enter the bottom half of the second. Micah Willink's going to lead off the parade here in the second inning, the number 4 batter. We'll see what the big lefty can do against the big righty from Franklinville as he takes the first one outside, ball 1.
Yeah, he called that a strike, Brian, somehow.
Who? He fouls one off. 0-2 now. I think all of the CSP batters, this probably is their first time seeing Blake Frank. And Micah hits one high fly ball to center field. The center fielder's back underneath it, and it travels, but he still makes the catch. And pretty well hit ball by Micah, but not good enough, and that's going to retire Micah, the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that was a very well hit ball right directly to center field, Brian. And that center fielder was, up until that ball was in his glove, it looked like it might have been a little bit of a challenge, but he made the catch and records the first out of the inning.
Brings up Trent Burchanowski. Takes ball high. Called strike on the outside corner.
It's going to be important, Brian, for CSP to get these bats going. This is one way an underdog also can beat you is that just for whatever reason can't get the bats going. We've had solid contact through the first inning and a third. It just we're hitting it right at Franklinville defenders, and it'll be interesting to see really what we need is we need to get a guy on base.
You need to get a guy on base.
And try to put some pressure on them that way and see how they respond. But, whether that's a walk or a base hit, we'll take it either way. But we need to get some base runners here.
3-1 now to Trent. And Trent, big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Trent with the patented 110% effort on his swing.
Never wasted up there.
No, he gets his money's worth every time. Full count now to Trent. 1 down here. And got him on the outside corner. Called strike 3. Got Trent looking. That's the second out of the second inning for the Wolfpack. And that's going to bring up big Curtis Olson. Playing third base today again. Familiar position for Kurt. He has been swinging a hot bat as of late, so we need to kind of break the glass here just a little bit and see if we can't get a hit or at least a base runner.
Well, and I think, Brian, even a base hit, this is the first time CSP's been in an environment like this, and I'm sure there's some jitters that are going on, and so I think something positive needs to happen. Base hit, base runner. Just to kind of get everybody loosened up a little bit. I mean, they know coming in they're probably the favorite. That puts a little bit more pressure on them, whereas Franklinville can play with a little bit of, a little bit freer. And as a result, you can kind of sense the CSP just a hair tight so far.
3-0 to Curtis. And we get our first base runner via a walk. Curtis Olson takes his place down at first base on a 4-pitch walk. So we'll see what Blake Frank does out of the stretch rather than the windup here. Tate Catney's to the plate now, playing left field today.
Tate coming off a game on Thursday where he hit one over the left field fence. So he's got a hot bat going right now, and that's why he's in the lineup, and we'll see if he can produce here in a big spot with 2 outs.
And ball 2 on the inside corner to Tate. 2-0 now to Tate.
That's 6 straight balls now, Brian, for Frank, so we'll see maybe.
And throw over to first base. Tried to get Curtis looking and leaning, but he's safely back there, sliding in head first.
Similar to Gabe, Frank's struggling to find the strike zone a little bit here in the second.
There's one down the mic.
Down the middle.
Yep, 2-1 now to Tate. And Tate hits one deep to left field. Left fielder's over there. It's going to be over his head, clear to the wall. Curtis Olson's being waved in. Tate Catney's going to be in with a stand-up double, scoring Curtis Olson from first base on a huge hit for the freshman out of Panama. Excellent job by Tate Catney. Stand-up double, RBI, scoring Curtis. That evens the score at 1 apiece. Big spot.
Yeah, that was great hitting by Tate. That was a curveball that hung up, Brian, and Tate turned on that and hit it over the left fielder's head. He tried to dive backwards for it and missed it. That resulted in Tate with a double and scoring in that important run to tie it up. And now we'll see if that loosens up CSP a little bit as we get going here.
And this is going to bring up Grant Lictus, seeing his first action at the plate this year, actually, to be honest with you. He's been out with an injury all year. Going to DH today for Blake Copton in center field. He's quickly ahead 2-0. And called strike on the outside corner to Grant.
Yeah, great to see. Grant's a big hitter for CSP. Great to see him getting him right back at the right time here, Brian. And let's see if he can come up big in a spot here. Tough to ask a kid to get his first at bat.
First at bat in the sectional
final, but that's what we're asking Grant to do, and he's got a duck on the pond at second. So base hit gives him would more than likely give him an RBI here.
2-2 to Grant. And high and inside. 3-2 now. Like you said, Grant, even though he's been out all year, got a pretty trusty bat. And that one hits him. And that one is going to be hit by pitch by Grant Lictus. Hit him on the outside foot. And I believe they're saying it hit him. Either way, it was going to be ball 4.
Yeah, it definitely hit him, Brian. It hit him right in the
right in the outside. On his left-handed hitter, another one of the hit parade here for the CSP team. So would have been on the outside of the right foot, I believe.
Yeah, and he's been having trouble with the feet, so that's what he's been out for. So
I think it was his left foot that was causing him the most recent trouble.
Good.
Called strike on the outside corner for Ian Dunewald. Now with 2 runners on, first and second. Good wheels on second. Grant more of a strength guy. And as the umpires get moved back into the proper position here.
This is new for the umpires too.
Yep.
Not typically not working three-man squad, so they were just out of alignment. So they got themselves back in alignment, and here we go with Ian Dunewald in the box. And
outside to the right hand hitting Ian Dunewald. 1-1 to Ian, number 9 batter.
And you can just tell, Brian, there's a new life in CSP after the hit by Tate. The crowd's into it, the bench is into it.
Throw over to second base, Tate quickly back.
So we'll see if they can build on that momentum.
1-1 now to Ian Dunewald. And hits one foul out of play over the right field fence. That was his fastball, and Ian did well to foul that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Ian. And that one grazes him. No, it didn't. Just on the inside corner. Ian dove out of the way. Close. 2-2 now. I wasn't sure if that got a piece of his shirt sleeve or not, but he's hanging in there. So 2-2. Got him on the outside corner. Strike 3 looking for Ian Dunewald, and that outside strike has been called consistently today for this umpiring staff. So that retires the side, but not before we get the tying run back, and we get a big hit by Tate Cattonese in that inning. 2 left on base, but that evens the score at 1 apiece. So it's CSP 1, Franklinville 1 as we get ready to start the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be right back.
Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. This broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is provided by Land Pro Equipment at 1756 Lidquest Drive in Falconer and 8926 West Main Street in Clymer. Online at landproequip.com.
CSP baseball here, top of the 3rd inning. Gabe Roth remains on the mound, bringing up the number 2 hitter, Bo Bilecki for Franklinville. A big swing and a miss, foul tip, back into Micah's glove, strike 1.
2, 3, 4 batters here for Franklinville in the top of the 3rd, so be a big inning for both teams as we're going through the heart of their lineup.
And the ball misses high, 1-1.
wind's blowing out just a hair here, Brian, and we saw it in the two, both Tate's fly ball and Micah's, Tate's double and Micah's fly ball. The ball is carrying a little bit more today than maybe what the kids are expecting, and there's from home to center. There's a nice little breeze, and gotta think that's making a little bit of a difference.
Third pitch fouled back. Fourth pitch in for a ball. 2-2 now to Bilecki. And a foul tip. Micah couldn't catch on to that. Got the umpire a little bit, too, on that one, as he said everybody's going to kind of take a moment to catch their breath. Home plate umpire talking with Coach Marino, shaking the cobwebs off. I think it went right off of Micah's, off Micah's glove and into the umpire. So everybody's going to just take a second to recollect themselves. Everybody looks to be all right. But these balls, Gabe's throwing probably in the low 80s. So when it comes off the bat, foul tip, it's on you quick.
Yeah.
So 2-2 to Bilecki. No outs here, top of the third inning. Timeout. Time granted by the batter.
Micah and Gabe a little bit off kilter as far as what they're thinking they want to throw here. So.
And there's one hit to the gap in right field, and that's going to be in front of Ian Dunewald. So that's going to be a leadoff single for Bo Bilecki on a pretty well hit ball to right field.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there by Bo, and that ball dropped right in front of Ian. Really, no chance for him to get it, so Franklinville gets their leadoff hitter on board. We'll see if they can do anything with it.
Swinging a foul. That one did collect into Micah's glove. Isaac Town, the batter, playing third base today, quickly behind 0-1. Throw over to first base. Bilecki safely back.
Bilecki is the Franklinville's catcher, not getting a real big lead. Typically, catchers are not.
And that one gets away from Micah. Long ways back to the fence here at JCC. So base runner is going to advance easily. And Micah's had a few of those issues today. I don't know exactly what's going on back there. The ball's moving a little more than what he thought, or maybe not as much. But anyway, 1-1 now. Runner at second base.
And you mentioned it, Brian. Here at this ballpark, the backstop is quite a ways back. So any pass ball, it's at least one base. I think if you're on your wheels and the ball wants to bang around behind the plate, I think you might be able to get two today.
Swing and a miss, strike two. 2-2 now to Town. Runner on second base. 1-1 is your score. Top of the third inning. Ball low. 3-2 now, full count. And big swing and a miss, strike three. Retires the batter for the first out of the inning, Gabe Roth, with his sixth strikeout today. That's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Noah Shank.
Gabe went high inside on the hands on that one, and it would have been very difficult to get bat on the ball. And first pitch to Shank is a foul ball, so up early, 0-1.
Back over our heads here. Time granted. I'm not sure who called it. Going to clean off the plate for home plate umpire. Get everybody reset here. Once again, 0-1 to the cleanup hitter, Noah Shank. One down here, top of the third. 1-1 is your score. And there's a lazy fly ball that's going to be out of play over into the bleachers over here to the right. So Gabe quickly up on Shank, 0-2.
Yeah, making contact on it, Brian. He's just he's a little late on it. So, something off speed or out of the strike zone here would be
And
Perfect.
that's exactly what he did. The off speed on the outside corner got him looking. Recording the second strikeout and the second out of the inning.
So this brings Blake Frank to the plate, Brian, and he can help himself out here. He's got a runner at second base with 2 outs. Base hit here may score a run, so this big spot for him.
And he hits it. Little slow roller. Austin White over to get it. It's going to be an infield hit. But they're going to get the third base runner out of the base paths. Micah's going to tag him, and that's going to be the third out. As the third base runner, I don't know what he was doing there because Austin had clear control of the ball. I think he thought he was going to throw it to first, and Austin didn't. Threw it to Micah in the fairly easy tag out at home.
Yeah, I don't know. For those that are not listening to us on audio, that ball was a slow roller to shortstop. Bo Bilecki made his way to third. Austin kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, so he was not going to throw it to first. And I think, Brian, he assumed that Austin was throwing it to first, so he made a very, very big turn at third base. And when he came up and saw that Austin had not thrown it to first, he was kind of in no man's land. And and there is the as the third base coach, you'd think he would have been saying, hey, as you're coming around, stay on the base. So big benefit there, fortunate for CSP to kind of get out of that inning. And if you're CSP, you're going to want to try to build off of that momentum.
Yeah, the momentum that we had at the end of the second inning via Tate Catney's double and scoring Curtis Olson from first base. Big inning there on the offensive side and a little bit of, I'd call it a base running error, but I don't even know if it was, to be honest with you. It was just kind of a baseball play. I think they were anticipating, like you said, that ball was going to first, and had that happened, very well could have scored. Because by the time you get from over to the first and then back to Micah at home, he was already pretty far down the base paths. So it was just an aggressive play. It didn't go in their favor and got tagged out.
Well, and it was actually a really good job by Austin White, Brian, because most kids are going to want to try to get, and he realized he fumbled it. It got in his glove. He tried to transition from glove to hand and had a little bit of difficulty. Rather than making the throw over there, knowing that that was going to be a difficult out, he held on to it, and then that's what really prompted the base error, the running error by the Franklinville player.
Just a good aggressive play that didn't work out for them.
Yep.
And so that's going to bring the CSP bats to the plate. Bottom of the third inning, score tied 1 apiece. We're back to the top of the order here. So Austin White grounded out to the pitcher in the first inning. We'll see what he can do to improve on that in the third inning here. Ball high and outside, ball 1.
And we'll see if this now will be the second time that the CSP hitters have seen Blake Frank. We'll see if they make any adjustments. Sometimes, again, you mentioned it earlier, more than likely none of these CSP hitters have faced Frank in the past. So it may...
Probably
we'll
the same
see.
story against Gabe, too,
yes,
most likely.
Right. That's right.
2-0 to Austin. Strike 1 called on the outside corner, 2-1.
And these pitchers are definitely, again, you mentioned it, Brian. The umpire is very consistent, but he is giving that inch or two outside the off the plate. So if you can live there, then that's a good spot to be at.
And that is certainly our vantage point from up here. We're right behind the umpire, so we got the Hawkeye view here. And Austin's going to take his base as the ball bounces away from the catcher, clear back here to the fence. As we mentioned, it's a long ways. Bo Bilecki quickly on it. So he's going to keep Austin from advancing. But that's the other thing. Even on a base on ball, if it gets past the catcher, get on your horse. You never know.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. So gives us our base CSP leadoff runner here, and we'll see if we can do anything with it as we come to the really heart of our lineup with 2, 3, 4 next up.
So once again here, bottom of the third inning, score is tied 1 apiece. Runner on first, Bryce Hinsdale up to bat. And he sacrifices one down toward the pitcher. He's going to fumble it, and that's going to be an infield hit for Bryce on the bunt. Frank tried to barehand that and couldn't get his fingers wrapped up around it quick enough, and kind of hurried things a little bit, and Bryce is going to be aboard, and we'll take it however we can get it.
Yeah, I think if you're Bryce, you probably didn't want to hit that bunt quite as hard, but it actually ended up in a pretty difficult spot for the Franklinville.
As Gabe tries to actually play the bunt as well. So some strategy going on here by the CSP coaching staff.
Little small ball.
Yep.
Little small ball action. I'm a little, a little surprised. If you got Gabe Roth, you typically want him swinging away up there, Brian. And but
that third baseman's playing really deep.
He is playing really deep.
We'll take it how we can get him. So sometimes it's the small stuff that gets an inning started. So we'll see what happens here. As pitcher steps off the mound and everybody's back. First and second now, no outs, bottom of the third inning. Score tied 1 apiece. Gabe Roth at the plate. 1-1 count to Gabe. And Gabe hits one hard to the gap. And they're going to wave Austin around from his second base position. And he's going to score standing up. And that's going to be the take the lead run for Austin White as Gabe Roth hits a single to left field and gets an RBI out of it.
Yeah, that ball was not hard hit.
Not hard hit,
Brian. But what was happening there is CSP had first and second base. The shortstop was making sure or protecting the leadoff of the second base runner, and so it left a significant gap between shortstop and third. That's where Gabe found his hole, and Austin was wheeling and was able to score. So that makes it 2-1 CSP here in the bottom of the third.
That brings up Micah Willink, quickly ahead 1-0. 2-0 now to Micah.
Micah with a strong hit in the first inning, a long fly ball to center field that the center fielder caught. But Micah had good contact his first at bat.
Called strike on the outside corner. That's been the call all day. So 2-1 now to Micah. 2 runners on, first and second base, no outs here. Bottom of the third. That one's way outside. 3-1 now to Micah.
Now, if you're Micah here with particularly with first and second, Brian, you want to be very selective as far as pitch count or as far as the pitch goes. If you see something right down the middle, drive it. Otherwise, and that's ball 4 there.
Ball 4. Good eye by Micah. That was close. But he's going to promptly take his base, and that's going to move all the base runners around. So now we got bases loaded. No outs here. Bottom of the third inning, and Trent Burchanowski coming to bat.
On the year, Trent's batting .444 for CSP, one of our higher at bats, and I would say, Brian, the first 3 or 4 games, Trent really struggled at the plate, and over the course of the past 10, 11 games has really come on, and so this is a big spot for Trent. He hits a
hard ball, deep center field, over the center fielder's head, clear to the wall. They're going to get 2 runs across for sure. They're holding Micah, and actually Micah's going to try and make it in, and he is. And Trent is in there to third base on the throw home. The relay back to third baseman is too late. Trent's in with a sliding triple, bases clearing triple. Great hit by Trent Burchanowski.
Yeah, Brian, that ball went, that was very well hit. That went deep, deep center, and right over the center fielder's head. And
again, I think that was
bases.
Partly we saw that in the first inning with Micah, and for sure with Tate. That ball is traveling. And I think that center fielder thought he had the beat on it, and it just kept going. The wind is blowing out, but not significant. The flags are basically still in center field. Curtis Olson up now, takes one on the ball, one on the inside.
That makes the score 5-1 CSP here in the bottom of the third, and still with no outs here in the bottom of the third.
Curtis takes one strike on the outside corner, 1-1 for Curtis. Runner on third base, Trent Burchanowski, hero of the inning here. Ooh, third baseman did a great job of getting that glove on that, as that ball from over to third base from the pitcher almost made it out of his glove. Dove for it.
Yeah, he's tried to
Tried to pick Trent off. He was down the baseline quite a ways. Called strike 2 on the outside for Kurt. All 3 high. Full count now to Curtis. Just a little different vantage point for us country boys.
Yeah, not many places we go, Brian, that have the press boxes.
And got him looking on the called third strike. So that's the first out of the inning. Curtis tried to get that walk to third base, or walk down the line, but I think he knew he'd been had. That was a little curveball that curved and caught the corner.
Yeah, and Brian Blake's got a very nice curveball.
Yes.
It'll start out of the strike zone and make its way back in. And
Tate Catnese takes one ball high. 1-0. Once again, one down here, bottom of the third inning. 5-1 CSP, courtesy of 4 runs in this third inning. Tate Catnese with a double in the first inning, takes one high and outside. 2-0 to Tate.
Anything on the ground here, Brian, or pass ball is more than likely going to score Trent at third. And
as they throw down to third base from the catching position.
3-1 or 3-1 here to Tate.
Nope, 3-0. You're right.
3-0.
And called strike. Now 3-1. Was taking that whole time. That one caught the outside corner. 3-1 now to Tate. And that one is outside. So Tate will take his position down on first base. First and third now, one down here as the catcher comes out and calls the signs for the fielders of what they're going to do. And Big Grant Lictus makes his way out to the plate. Big spot here for the freshman, as we indicated. Grant seeing his first playing time of the year today, sectional final. First and third, one out.
Yeah, Grant was up in the second and in a big spot, and he
faked to third, then threw to first. That's a pretty nifty move there by the senior from Franklinville. About just got back. Did Tate over there at first.
But Grant's first at bat, he was hit by pitch.
That one's inside. They throw down to third on that. Tate's going to take his base over at second. So that moves Tate over. I believe that was a called ball.
He's consistent there, Brian. That ball is
strike
outside, and he's been consistent there.
1-1 now to Grant. One down here. And he hits a little nubber to second base. It's going to be good enough for an RBI. So mission accomplished for the young Clymer hitter. Good job, Grant. Got your first RBI of the season in a big spot there.
First game of the year, first RBI.
And that's going to bring up Ian Dunewald. And on that hit, Tate did advance from second over to third. So Tate Catney's on third base, Ian Dunewald up. And that one hits off the umpire's shield again. He's having a tough day back there. Yeah, time now.
Yeah, he's had a couple times, Brian. This is not the first time he's been hit today. And
that one was a ball that just hopped off the catcher's glove. Just happened to catch him square right in the face mask.
I was, if anybody would happen to be watching baseball last night, I was watching the Blue Jays-Angels game, and the Blue Jays or the Angels were warming up in between innings, and the pitcher pitched a ball that went probably hit just in front of the plate and came up, and for whatever reason the catcher turned his body and hit him right, I think, in the neck area. Anyways, proceeded to get checked out by the medical staff, and as he was walking to they decided to take him out of the game, and as he was walking to the bench, and he was walking down the steps, became very
Got a little lightheaded.
Yeah, very lightheaded and almost looked like he had collapsed. And
scary.
So it was not a good situation.
And that one is a swing and a miss by Ian. Tate's going to try and make the advance on the play, and he's safe under the tag at home plate. Tate with his hustle play down third with his speed. It was a close play, but Tate was under the tag, and Ian Dunewald promptly get out of the way there, and the ball bounced away, and Tate was right on his horse right there, and just a smart base running play by the freshman out of Panama.
Yeah, that ball did not get back. And he was, Coach Moreno. I heard Coach Moreno tell him to go, and he was that's being aggressive like we've been all year, and worked out. He slid right underneath the tag.
Now 3-0, I believe, to Ian. Scoreboard in operation partially here. We got a rookie scoreboard operator over there, I think. So everybody's kind of learning a little bit. Is Ian going to take his base? Good at bat for Ian there, and got himself a base on balls, and that's going to bring the leadoff batter of the inning back up around again. Austin White, as the CSP team batted around here in the third. 2 down now. Austin White taking his place, and Ian Dunewald over to first.
And not only, Brian, has CSP been able to get some runs here in the third, but they've been able to put some pitches on Frank's arm.
That's right.
And that's a key. I was going to mention that when Franklinville's batting, they've been taking Gabe deep in the counts, and anytime you can get to their to the team's second or third pitcher, it's never going to hurt. Now I would tell you,
throw over to first.
I don't know much about Franklinville, but I know from a CSP standpoint, there's a slight drop off, but it's not much when you go to our second, third, and even fourth pitchers.
And Ian takes off towards second. The throw's there, and he's going to have him out by a step or two, and that's going to be the end of the inning for the CSP. But, 6 big runs pushed across in the bottom half of the third, and that's going to make the score 7-1 CSP as we close the book on the big third inning for the Wolfpack. Just what we needed, Kyle, and we'll be right back.
Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for coverage of CSP baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. This broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is provided by Land Pro Equipment at 1756 Lidquest Drive in Falconer and 8926 West Main Street in Clymer. Online at landproequip.com.
And welcome back here to JCC, beautiful Dietrich Park on an absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon for baseball here as CSP has taken a 7-1 lead after 3 innings here, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Matt Spiller, who promptly hits one high to center field. Gabe Roth underneath it out there. Or excuse me, that's Blake Kopta.
Yep.
Normal Gabe Roth out there.
Normally, when he's not pitching, that's where Gabe resides. But
Blake Kopta just moves about 3 steps to his left and puts his big mitt around that, and that retires the first batter on the first pitch in the top half of the fourth. So that's going to bring up the first baseman, Gannon Callahan. And
Brian, this is the part of the order that that got to Gabe back in the second inning.
Yep.
We went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, and then this lower half of the batting lineup got a couple hits, and that's where they scored their run. So that's a big out there for fly out for Gabe, and we'll see what he does here with the number 7 batter.
2-1 to Callahan now. Begging for a little bit. It's warm up in this press box.
It is.
And I went inside a little bit. 3-2.
Gabe doing a good job of moving the strike zone around. That ball was inside. I would not be surprised, Brian, if this ball was on the outer half of the plate after going inside. Ooh, that ball's
and that one's
hit
hard to left field. And that's going to be chasing Tate Cat, and he's to the wall. Fair ball. Going to be a stand-up double for this number 7 hitter, Gannon Callahan, and that ball was really well hit.
Yeah, well, that ball was of all the hits that we've had today, even to include CSP, that probably was the most well-hit ball, and some of that has to do with the speed that Gabe is throwing. That ball's going to come in and go out just as fast, and so Franklinville's got a little life here in that ball.
This one's going to be a pop-up right behind Micah. He's got his big mid on it, and he catches it for the second out of the inning, right behind home plate. Good play there by Micah behind the plate. That was in the air a long ways, right in front of us here, Kyle.
Yep, and we've talked about it before, Brian. That is not an easy catch for the catcher. Number 1, he's got a odd-shaped glove on, and number 2, he's looking at it kind of the wrong way. So nice play by Micah, and see if we can get CSP out of this inning with stranding just that runner at second.
Ball 1 to the number 9 hitter, Terwilliger, playing right field today. He was one of the ones that reached on a base on ball in the bottom of the second inning. And ball inside. 2-0 now. And ball low, 3-0. He's working his way toward another walk here. I think looks like he might be one of the younger players on the team just from our vantage point here.
Yeah.
But he worked the count 3-1 the first at bat before taking a walk, and now he's going to get another walk. So he takes his place over at first base. So now Franklinville has first and second with 2 out here in the top of the 4th inning. And that's going to bring the leadoff batter back up.
Brenton Blecha up for Franklinville. He struck out in the first inning and struck out in the second. So 0 for 2 today. And he takes a strike.
Called strike on the outside corner. Yep. And a hard hit ball foul down the left field line. Out toward the tarp here, which we don't call that a lot in our games. So, home of the tarp skunks here at Jamestown. I believe that's what the moniker stands for. Apparently there's a bunch of skunks that are down there that wander around on that tarp is where their name come from. And ball in the dirt. Micah beats it down, keeps it in front of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Blecha.
Good block by Micah there, particularly we've talked about it, as deep as the backstop is, and with runners on, that's even more important. So good job by Micah there.
And a hard hit ball right over Austin White's head out to left field. That's going to score 1 run for Franklinville. So that's going to be an RBI single for Brenton Blecha. Franklinville is pretty gritty, Kyle.
They are particularly with the bottom half of their, and I know Blecha was top of their order, but it all started back on with their 7th batter, and Callahan scored there to make it 7-2. And credit to the Franklinville coaching staff. That ball that was a hit and run, and as a result made that. And you know what, Brian? I am not surprised that they tested that so what they just did was CSP checked to make sure he touched home plate. And you know what, Brian? When he went across home plate, I almost said to you, I'm not sure he touched home plate.
It was a foul ball. And I wasn't watching. You've always been real good about that. Clear back to Little League days. We threw over to third a few times, but this is a little different spot here.
Yep, but he did catch the corner of it, so you've got first and second here for Franklinville.
Good block by Micah.
Another good block by Micah.
Bo Bilecki struck out in the first, reached on a single in the third, and 1-1 here in the top of the fourth. 2 down, 2 on for the catcher out of Franklinville. Ball low, 2-1. Again, Gabe Roth at times has been on cruise control and other times has labored just a little bit here today. And that one's hit hard toward third. Curtis Olson with a smart play running over there. Great stop by Curtis at third base. That was a hard hit ball. He got to his feet, went over and touched third base, and that's going to retire the Franklinville rally in the top half of the fourth. Just a great play by the senior out of Panama.
Yeah, that was, he made that look pretty easy, Brian, but that was a very difficult play. He had to go to what would be his left. Between short and third, and he dove, got the ball in his glove, and just got up and proceeded to step on third. So nice way to get out of the inning for CSP. So we now head to the bottom of the fourth. With CSP up 7-2, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Sherman Livestock at 4150 Sherman Mayville Road. Cattle auctions are held every Tuesday and Thursday. Horse and tack are every third Saturday of the month. For more information, call 716-499-1362 and on Facebook.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball on the Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Mosher's Carpeting at 8631 East Main Street in Clymer. Mosher's has carpeting and all types of flooring, serving the area for over 27 years. Online at mosherscarpeting.com.
And welcome back here to JCC in Dietrich Park as we enter the bottom half of the fourth inning. As the CSP team has had 7-2 as we get ready to start the home half of the fourth. And we're going to have, I believe, Austin White's going to be leading us off here because he was up when Ian Dunewald stole and got caught stealing to end the third inning. So he's going to start off the fourth inning for us right here where he ended the third inning, up to bat with a fresh count.
Franklinville with a run on the board in the top of the fourth, so 7-2 here, CSP. And if you're CSP, you'd like to repeat what you did in the third inning, which was bat around and put 6 runs on the board.
And ball one inside for Austin.
So now be the third time that CSP hitters have seen Blake Frank, so they should have a pretty good idea of what he's trying to do.
Is that call on the outside that's been going all day long?
Yep.
1-1. Yeah, you're right. Third time through the order here. Technically, I guess fourth because Austin saw him the last inning. And fouled straight back. 1-2 now to Austin.
Hung a curveball there, Brian, and Austin liked the look of it and just couldn't catch up with the high pitch in the strike zone. So fouled it off, and
there's a hard hit ball right up the middle out to center field. Austin White's going to have himself a line drive single right up the middle, and what a way to start out the fourth inning for the CSP team.
Good piece of hitting there by Austin, and as you mentioned, Brian, that was well hit right back up the Middle of the field.
So this is going to bring Bryce Hinsdale. Bryce lined out to second base and got a single in the third inning. And takes one on the outside there. Ball one for Bryce.
Bryce enters the game batting .414 for CSP, so one of the more higher batting averages, and he's now ahead in the count 2-0 here, and so he should get a hit to or a pitch to hit here.
So we lose our Facebook feed, but we pick up the stats for the championship games here. Ball high, 3-0. So if you haven't figured it out by now on Facebook world, there's nothing out there for you to watch. NFHS has the contract with New York State for all these sectional games. So that's where the feed is. We can continue to do the audio through the rest of the playoffs here, but the video feed, I'm afraid, is going to be done for the year. As Bryce takes a 4-pitch walk. Now we got first and second. No outs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and that's going to bring Gabe Roth to the plate. And
that's
again,
probably all right,
repeat.
Brian. Our wives tell us we have radio voices, not
television faces.
Not television faces. So.
And Gabe hits one down the right field line that's curving out of play out into the bullpen here at Jamestown. So 0-1 to Gabe. Yes, I've been told that. Brady Doink just mentioned, what did he say exactly? Vin Scully and Tim McCarver on the call here. So I don't know if we're
My guess
we're
is he's just getting off the golf course.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking so.
Probably building up his handicap so that when all the big tournaments come to play, he's
ready.
He's there pocketing the money.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Gabe Roth. I'm more of a showman guy anyway, so.
Yeah, he's very good.
And a big swing and a miss, strike 3 for Gabe. And you don't see that an awful lot. Gabe has struck out twice now today, first and the third inning. So that's going to be the first out of the inning. First and second, once again, this is going to bring Micah Willink up to the plate. Micah flew out to deep center field in the second and took a walk and scored in the third. And throw back to second base. Austin's back safely. Everybody back to where they need to be here. And a swing and a miss, strike 1 for Micah.
Base hit, more than likely scores at least 1 here, Brian. So,
and foul off the dugout of Franklinville. Micah way out in front of that one. 0-2.
Micah fought that one off. That was a good pitch inside. In on the hands, and fouled that off to live to see another pitch.
0-2 now to Micah. 2 runners on base, 1 down here. And he hits that one, line drive, but right at the right fielder. It's going to be hard enough where Austin White's going to advance over to third, but Micah hit that one just a line drive. Anywhere else but right at that right fielder, that drops. But the right fielder didn't even have to move for that thing.
Yeah, he hit that ball hard, Brian, and that's second ball that Micah has flown out on that he has hit the ball really hard. But good piece of base running for Austin White. He immediately saw that was going to get caught. He tagged up, made it to third, and so we have first and third here with 2 outs for CSP with Trent Burchanowski up to bat. Trent hit a deep triple back in the third inning. Cleared the bases, I believe.
And there's a throw down to second base, and they're going to have Bryce got him stealing, and that's going to clear the bases out here as that's the third out of the inning as the catcher had a nice throw on that. I thought Bryce got a pretty good jump on that thing, but the relay made from the pitcher to the catcher to the second baseman, and he's going to catch Bryce before he got in there. So that's going to put an end to the fourth inning for the CSP team. But the score remains CSP 7, Franklinville 2 as we get ready to start the top of the fifth. We'll be right back.
Broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. This broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is brought to you by Pudge's Tire at 5979 Niobe Road in Panama, serving all your tire needs. Phone 716-782-4009.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is provided in part by White Land Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for clients in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York, and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Call 716-499-8410 or visit online at mwhitepls.com.
Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
All right, as we return to live action here at JCC, as we enter the top of the fifth inning here, CSP enjoying a 7-2 lead over Franklinville as the Franklinville Panthers come to the plate with their number 3 batter, Isaac Town, to lead off the fifth inning here. Bo Bailicki with a nice throw down to second base that got Bryce Hinsdale out, got the Franklinville out of that fourth inning, and that one's fouled back behind us here, Kyle. Quickly ahead 0-1 to Isaac Town, third baseman.
Yeah, this is Town is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, but this will be an important piece of this game, Brian. 2, 3, 4, so big hitters for Franklinville, and 3, 4, 5 hitters for Franklinville, and Gabe up early here, 0-2.
Got him on the outside corner, and that's been there all day long. He's staying consistent with that. Both sides, both teams, that outside strike has been there. Got him looking for the third strikeout for Isaac Town for the day, and the first of the inning for the inning. That's number 8 for the day for Gabe Roth.
Yeah, it's been consistent, Brian, for sure. It definitely is outside, but it's been called a strike all day long for both teams.
Noah Shank up, cleanup hitter, struck out in the second and the third inning. Takes one on the inside corner here, ball 1. And a swing and a miss, strike 1. And he hits one right down the right field line. Ian Dunewald over there, gonna land just foul. Ian Dunewald with a long run over there. I thought from the angle that he might get to it, but that one was just out of his reach. But no harm, no foul there as it lands in foul territory. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Yeah, that ball he had a long ways to run. Both he and Bryce and even Trent made an effort to it, and just foul or by a foot or 2.
And he got him swinging. Strike 3 swinging. Second strikeout of the inning. This is going to bring up the opposing pitcher, excellent athlete, Blake Frank. Blake looking to help himself here. 2 down here, top of the 5th inning. Called strike on the inside corner. Once again, CSP 7, Franklinville 2. And that one bounces in the dirt, gets away from Micah, 1-1. Really kind of hard to tell how many people are here because we're sitting on top of half of them with the way the press box is here. But I see the teams Gowanda and Portville are both here now too. And there's a ball on the outside corner. That could be a really good one.
That game follows CSP Franklinville. I think the scheduled time might be 5 o'clock, Brian. And those are 2 really strong teams that are battling out for Class C title. And but should be a great game between 2 very, very, very good teams.
You got at least one Division I pitcher going to West Virginia on Portville, Max Yale. Big lefty. And there's one hard hit up the middle. Austin White's going to be over from his shortstop position and throw it in the dirt, but Bryce gets his big mid on it. It's going to retire him. Good scoop out of the dirt for Bryce Hinsdale over there. Got that big mitt on that thing and hauled it in. So that's a 6-3 put out, and that's going to end the Franklinville 5th inning. Score remains CSP 7, Franklinville 2. We'll be right back.
Podcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause.
So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer
as we stand in honor of all loved ones affected by this disease.
I'm Jordana Brewster.
I'm Candace Patton.
Joe Manganello.
I'm Matt Damon, and cancer has in some way touched all of us.
Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Stand up with us.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage is provided by Sherman Country General Store at 177 West Main Street in Sherman. Gasoline, groceries, and more. Phone 716-761-6181. Go Wolfpack from Sherman Country General Store.
And we're back in live action here as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. Trent Berchanowski working his way back out to home plate to lead off the inning here. He was the one that ended the inning as Bo Bilecki, the catcher from Franklinville, had a nice gun down to second base. I thought Bryce Hinsdale had a really good jump, and Bo got that big right-handed arm out there and gunned him down. So Trent's going to lead us off here. And 7-2 CSP over Franklinville. So we'll see what the 5, 6, 7 batters can do here for CSP.
I think, Brian, we've gone all year long without seeing a kid get thrown out, at least one of our kids get thrown out at second base, and we've seen it end the last 2 innings. So.
Yeah. Well, as you know, you get to the playoffs, and every step of the way it gets a little tougher. The players get a little better, and the arms get a little faster and bigger. So I'm not totally shocked. Franklinville is here for a reason, for sure. 3-0 now to Trent as that one makes its way to the backstop. So quickly up 3-0 as starting to get some pitches on the right arm of Blake Frank, but I wouldn't say he's laboring by any stretch. Maybe now he is. That one sails high and above Trent's head, and he takes a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a drop off in velocity, Brian.
Nope.
But based on at least that first batter that he faced here in the bottom of the 5th, that was not any balls near the strike zone, to be honest with you.
That one on the outside, ball 1. That's 5 balls in a row now as Curtis Olson makes his way out to the plate. Curtis with a nice defensive play, probably saved a run the last inning, or 2 innings ago now. That one on the inside. 2-0 now to Curtis. As I hear CSP dugout promptly yelling out 6 in a row, 6 balls in a row as a throw to first. And Trent quickly back. Two 2-0 now to Curtis Olson. Back again over to the first base.
Trent is somebody that can steal a base for us, Brian, and he does get a pretty sizable lead over there at first base.
And ball 3 on the inside to Curtis. So throws to home. That's 7 balls in a row now. And that's 8 in a row.
Yeah, I have to think, Brian, that he's starting to get some pitches on that arm, and we'll see. We mentioned it earlier. We've Frank is clearly their ace, but as you look at their season stats, the next pitcher that one would think CSP might see is Splitter, Matt Splitter.
Matt Spittler?
Spittler, yes.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Playing second base.
He has the second most innings pitched for Franklinville on the year.
And Tate Catney's with the bunt. Oh, just bounces in foul territory. What a great bunt there by Tate. He was going to be on easily with the potential sacrifice. That thing just had a little topspin on it and bounced off the grass onto the chalk and out of play.
Yeah, that was a really nice bunt by Tate. And I wouldn't be surprised, Brian, if he tries to lay down another one here and to at the very least advance the runners. But with the speed of Tate, it's going to be
that one's away from the catcher, and that's going to get the job done without having to have a bunt as the runners all advance one base. So now second and third. So that would take the bunt out of position unless you're going to try and do a sacrifice of some sort, which with Bob Newton on the bench is always a favorite play.
I wouldn't be surprised, Brian, if you see Franklinville bring the infield in, and it looks like that's what they are doing at trying to limit the damage here. They know they're down 7-2 and running out of outs and innings and facing a pretty good pitcher in Gabe Roth. So,
and Tate hits one a little off the end of the bat, rolls over into the on-deck circle in front of Franklinville's bench. So now Tate, 1-2 to Tate. No outs here. Runners on second and third. Bottom half of the fifth inning here. 7-2 CSP lead. We're looking to expand on that a little bit if we can. And there's one outside. The catcher does a nice job keeping that one from bouncing to the fence. We don't have a grade on Bilecki, but just by his actions and his arm, I got to believe he's a senior.
I would think so, Brian. Junior or senior.
Yeah, pretty good back there. And Tate's going to take his walk. That's going to load the bases up. Grant Lictus, again, I think we've said it every time when he's been up to bat. Kind of a big spot here for the hitter out of Clymer, his first, and that's going to be it for Blake Frank for today. And Franklinville coach comes over, and they're going to make the switch. And they are going to go to big number 4, and I believe that is Matt Spittler. No, excuse me.
I don't know, Brian. That's
not on. That was position number 4, not batter, not catcher.
I've got 2 number 4s on my program.
Breton
it's
Bleacha
either
or
Noah Shank or Breton Bleacha. Let's see.
Noah Shank's playing center. He didn't come in from center, so that's got to be Bleacha.
Yep. That's Brenton Bleacha.
So as we let Bleacha take his warm-ups on the mound, tell you what, let's pay a couple bills. We'll be right back.
98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Arlene's Dutch Kitchen Restaurant and Becky's Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. Arlene's offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Becky's Bakery features Amish-style baked goods. 716-234-4002 or Arlene's Dutch Kitchen on Facebook.
If you could do something today that could save someone's life, would you do it? If it didn't cost you a dime and only took a little time and could literally save a life, would you do it? Can you believe that only 3% of people say yes to this? How's that possible? That's the real percentage of people who give blood. It's something you can do whether you're a millionaire, middle class, or completely poor. There's no fee and it's easy to do. And you can literally save a life. Let's roll up our sleeves and make a difference. Give blood. We can do better than 3%. Learn more at redcrossblood.org.
Funding for coverage of CSP baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by First Place Auto Glass of Jamestown. Owner glass tech Robert Leonard from Panama installs automotive glass and works with all major insurance companies. We thank First Place Auto Glass, 716-450-0847, or on Facebook.
All right, as we welcome you back here as the new Franklinville pitcher, Brenton Bleacha, is going to be taking the mound here from Franklinville, as that's going to close the book on Blake Frank. He goes 4 innings and gives up 7 runs for the senior out of Franklinville, and he's going to give the ball over to Breton Blecha, coming in from his shortstop position, and he and Blake Frank have just switched positions in the field. They're going to remain in the same batting order. So once again, the sophomore out of Clymer, Grant Lictus, is going to be up to bat, and once again, it's a big spot. Grant was hit by a pitch and had a sacrifice hit in the 3rd inning as he takes a ball outside for his first pitch here.
No outs. This is a tough spot for Brenton Blecha to come into, Brian. He bases loaded, no outs, down 7-2, and so he's just out there trying to limit the damage. And if you're Grant, now you're up 2-0. Should get a pitch to hit here, and looking to drive something. And one outside. So once again, 3-0 down to Grant. I just can't say enough about Grant. He's been out with injury until today, the whole year. Has not had one plate appearance or in the field. And they put him in as a DH, and he's been in 2 big spots and now 3 here for the CSP team. And he has a good eye and takes his base, and that's going to be an RBI walk for Grant. Well, and what you even though he's not been playing, Brian, you see Grant's been very engaged with the team. He's been around the team. He's been at practices, and that makes a big deal. And so that's 4 base on balls in a row for Franklinville's, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Grant.
Drake DiDomenico is going to take his spot over at first base, and job well done by Grant as he takes the base on balls, gets an RBI out of it. That's actually 2 RBIs for him in his first varsity plate appearances. So he gets a big round of applause by the CSP players. And that's going to bring up Ian Dunewald. Once again, same situation. Now we got bases loaded, no outs. Ian Dunewald, new pitcher on the mound, Breton Blecha from Franklinville. So we'll see what Ian's got in store for us.
And Brian, Ian's been a very good bunter
and ball
all
high.
year long. This is not a spot I wouldn't put it past Coach Moreno to lay down a bunt. And
got big Curtis Olson on third, a senior, very experienced ball player down there.
Yep.
So if you're going to do it, this is perfect. There's one back toward the backstop. Curtis is going to be sliding in. He's going to touch the base in front of the tag. And that's going to be another run for the Wolfpack as Curtis Olson on the pass ball scores from third. And that moves Drake over to second and Tate over to third. Once again, no outs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Ian Dunewald promptly up 2-0 on the count.
And no hits here, Brian, for CSP to score these runs. There's four base on balls. And as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this is a good enough CSP team that they can do it on their own. You don't need to help them, and a little bit of that's what's going on right now if you're Franklinville.
And foul just in front of it is Ian Dunewald as he falls over the Franklinville dugout. Evens and count at 2-2 to Ian Dunewald here. Runners on second and third, no outs here. Bottom of the 5th. No score now, 8-2 CSP. And Ian did well to lay off that one. He wanted that. That's going to bring the count to full.
That was an off-speed pitch,
sure
Brian. That had a little bit of a curve to it, and that ball was low. But when Ian was wanting to hit it, it was kind of in the strike zone.
And he takes ball 4. So a good at bat there for Ian Dunewald, as we've said multiple times throughout the course of the year. He has a good stick and a good bat and a good positional player. He does anything you ask him to do. You need a bunt, he'll bunt it. You want a little bloop single, he'll do that. You want to walk, he'll do that. So out of your number 9 hitter, that's pretty important stuff. So that's going to bring the top of the order back up. Austin White makes his way out to the plate. Bases loaded for Austin, no outs here. And Breton Blecha has got himself in a little bit of a bee's nest here. And once again, ball low and inside. Breton, not the problem with the he was coming in with bases loaded, so just a tough spot.
Yeah, and that's CSP's had 5 straight walks here, so a little trouble finding the strike zone for Franklinville.
And a swing and a miss with Austin. That one was going to be a strike, so Austin did well to swing at that. 1-1.
Austin looking for something here to drive to a gap that should score at least 2.
And that one over Austin's head. 2 balls and a strike now. And ball low and outside.
Good stop
did
by
a good stop.
by the catcher there.
I like him.
Yep.
I like him a lot. Probably an all-star in Cat County. I don't even know it. 3-1.
Yeah, probably.
Just acts like it. And Austin's going to take his base via a walk. And Franklinville's kind of, the wheels are starting to come off just a little bit here. That's 6 straight walks for the Panthers, as the coach from Franklinville has now made his way out, and we're going to have another pitching change. So Bleacher just didn't have it today. Came in a really tough spot and walked a couple and had a pass ball. So now they're going to look to go to, I believe, he pointed toward the second baseman, which would indicate that might be the Matt Spittler coming in.
Yeah, which I was a little surprised, Brian, they didn't go to him right away, but he's got the second most innings pitched on the staff.
By golly, that's Gannon Callahan. That's the third baseman.
Well,
so or first baseman, excuse me, first baseman, big lanky kid. So yeah, is it possible that Spittler pitched on when would they played Thursday? Would he be out of pitches?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I bet you that's really the only reason I can think of.
Yep.
Well, while Gannon Callahan takes his position and warms up, we will stay right here as we've mentioned. Mother Nature is just treating us to a beauty here today. We've had some not so nice weather days this spring, but today is just ideal. The flags in center field are just waving in the wind every once in a while. Beautiful puffy popcorn clouds, and CSP with now a 9-2 lead over Franklinville. So everything according to plan here for the CSP coaching staff, fans, and everybody listening.
Yeah, this is you mentioned the weather, Brian, and it's we're at a good ballpark, and good weather, and you can smell popcorn and you can smell hot dogs in the air, and it overall it's a working out to be a pretty good day for CSP. And we mentioned it earlier, the winner of this game, Brian, will play next Saturday at Salamanca. I don't know if we have a start time for that. It's noon next Saturday, June 4th, and that'll be at Salamanca High School. That will be a regional final where Section 6 representative from Class D will take on Section 5 representative again next Saturday at Salamanca.
Okay, as we get ready to return live action here, Bryce Hinsdale is now the batter for the Wolfpack. Bases loaded, no outs here, bottom of the 5th, and Bryce takes one on the inside, ball 1. Bryce had a line out to the second baseman to start the game, had a single in the first and a walk in the 4th. And so we'll see what we got in the 5th here. As he hits one over the shortstop's head, that's going to fall in for a base hit. Easily going to score Drake Domenico, and Ian Dunewald's making his way around too, and that's not even a good throw. So that's that's a 2-hit RBI there for Bryce Hinsdale. Good piece of hitting there by the freshman out of Panama. As that now makes the score 12-0, I believe is my count. And that, I believe,
well, we were
wrong again. As the CSP team exits the dugout, apparently once you get to 10 in the sectional games here, that is going to be it. So CSP is going to be the winner of the Franklinville CSP Class D Finals, and it's going to be 12-0, or 12-2. 12-2. So a 10-run rule comes into play. Again, we got to check our rules on that a little bit. But that was a little unexpected. Sorry, folks. We were anticipating we were going to be here for a little while longer. But CSP is going to come away with a 12-2 Section D Section 6 Class D final championship banner.
Yeah, and I think, Brian, we've talked about it over the course of the year. If you, as CSP looks at their goals that they set out at the beginning of the year, winning the league was number one. Getting to the sectional final was number two. Winning the sectional final for what would be the first time in program history, and check mark on all three of those. And so CSP is your Section 6 Class D sectional finals, and we will now head next Saturday. So we get a week off, which will help us from resetting the pitching counts, and we will get a week off, but play Section 5 winner next Saturday at noon in Salamanca, and which would be fun to go over to that facility, Brian. We have not, at least I haven't been over there, and it's a beautiful complex from what I understand.
Yeah, we heard it from those who were in attendance up at Guana when we were up there. We thought that was wonderful, and so they said that Salamanca is even better, as Coach Marino just got dunked with the bottle or the basket of Gatorade out along the third baseline here. So CSP with a big victory over Franklinville today. Gabe Roth goes the distance for CSP. 9 strikeouts for Gabe, 2 runs scored. On just a really, really good performance by all the CSP hitters. Just a good team effort all the way around. There were some good defensive plays. We started hitting the ball just a little bit. And they come home with a sectional championship. So just check. So good things are happening here. We certainly appreciate everybody listening. And we'll get the Facebook notice out. It'll be the same routine next weekend. We'll be audio only on the stream. But that's going to do it from here, as Kyle and I want to get down and celebrate with the team. One last thing. As a result of the sectional championship, as tradition holds, the fire trucks are going to meet the team at the corner of Baker Street and 474 and lead them on a parade through Panama, stopping at the school, and then over to Clymer, stopping at the school. So if any parents are listening, that's where we're going to meet and proceed on from there. Probably around 4:30 is when we're going to meet, and we should be in pretty good victory mode by the time we get over there. So once again, fire truck escort meeting at 4:30-ish at the corner of 474 and Baker Street. And that's going to do it from here. And on behalf of Kyle Hinsdale, I'm Brian Willink. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 989 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by J. Edwards Insurance in Panama and Jamestown, First Place Auto Glass of Jamestown, Sherman Livestock, by Arlene's Dutch Kitchen Restaurant and Becky's Bakery in Sherman, Triple E Manufacturing, TripleEMFG.com, Countertop Solutions, by Mosher's Carpeting of Clymer, by Land Pro Equipment in Falconer and Clymer, also Pudge's Tire in Panama, Sherman County General Store, White Land Surveying in Clymer, and by Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer, LictusOilandPropane.com. Tune in next time for all the action of CSP Wolfpack Baseball.